Magic Kids. The change in the sound was almost imperceptible, with the radio playing and the traffic noise, but somehow they all knew from the disappearance of that one note, the baritone hum that they could never even have said they heard, that they had run out of gas. Dad was at the wheel, and instantly at the edge of something, crying or shouting or what. Couldn't tell yet. Mom sat in the passenger seat with her arms folded. She was always at the edge of crying, so being at the edge of crying was nothing new. In the back seat, Will didn't much care. Being out of gas was just as interesting as having gas. "I knew we should have got gas at that last place," Mom said. Dad hit the wheel with the heel of his hand. Nobody wanted to mention that the last place, Warsaw or Clinton or wherever, was where they had changed drivers, and she could have filled up the car just as easily as anybody. Besides, miracles abounding, the exit ramp was a downslope, and Dad, hauling against the dead power steering, got them to the light, and managed to switch with Mom while the light was red, shoving against the back of the car while she steered. And this place, being almost like the country, far enough west of Kansas City to feel like something more or less rural, people jumped out to help him push, and within a minute they were in a station, and miracles abounding, the hotel was just across the way. Dad was again at the edge of something, although now it was joy or singing or whatever, his clothes dirty as they checked in, but his face filled with a smile at the kindness of strangers. Magic Kids had gotten them a suite, so Will had sort of a room of his own, at least with its own TV set, which was cool. Dad took a shower while Mom called Magic Kids to let them know they had arrived. Will wanted to check out the TV, but first there was the round of pills. "Am I going to have to come in there and remind you to take your pills?" Mom said. Will was already halfway done. "No," he mumbled through a mouthful. Will didn't mind the pills. They just took practice. Then there was time for PlayStation. Dad and Mom stayed in their room and made phone calls, called Grandma and uncles and aunts, called the radio stations and the TV stations, the people back home who had raised money. Everything looked good for tomorrow. The weatherman said it was going to be a nice day. He spoke in hard, flat syllables, as though his voice were bouncing off a metal roof. Will had never heard anything like it, even though Kansas City wasn't all that far from Mountain View. Will wondered whether the guy was making it up, but Mom said they all talked that way up here. "There's no plug-in for my clock," Mom said. "Dennis, find a plug-in." "There's a clock here." She gave him a look. "You know how I hate those cheap clock alarms? That nasty, buzzy sound scares me to death. Besides, they don't work half the time. You want to sleep through this?" Will didn't feel much like eating that night. Everybody thought he was too excited, and he let them think that. Truth was, he was having a bad day. The lady from Magic Kids came over later.